Hey yo, 1-2 checker. It's your man LP in the building. And I'm gonna put it like this, simple and plain. Common is having the best year in hip hop 2024. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, man, please do your boy a favor, man, and hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. And tap in with your boy. This is LPs and Books, episode 3. And today, man, it's all things common. We're gonna have two-part episode with this one. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna just talk about Common. You know what I'm saying? The men, the music, and all things Common. Part one. Then part two, we're gonna get into a book that he released this year, and it's called "And Then We Rise," which is like a self-help, self-care type of a book. So part one, we're just gonna get into the men and all the things that's moving and shaking right now. You know what I'm saying? And just Common as a legendary MC. I'm from Illinois, hour from Chicago, so you know what I'm saying. I really relate to a lot of things going on with Common. You feel me? So and I go way back from the first time I ever heard a record from him. So again, part one, we're just gonna kind of break down Common, and then in the second episode, it's part two of the episode, we'll get into the book that he dropped, which is a phenomenal book. Phenomenal book. It couldn't have come at a better time for myself. So I'm proud to share that, you know what I'm saying, with you all. So let's tap in. So check this out, man. I'm from Rockford, Illinois, which is hour north of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So I am 49. Common is in his early 50s, if I'm not mistaken. So when he first came out, I could recall the moment where I first seen a video of his. And I was like, oh, damn, he's saying Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And the style of rap was a little bit different back then, but he had bars in that, what he would call a Charlie Brown style of rap. If you go way back, he's Charlie Brown is a member of Leaders of the New School, and they have this like stuttery type of flow. You know what I'm saying? You had like Charlie Brown was on that, Das Effects, Foo Schnickens. It was prevalent in the rap back then. Ice Cube even did that a little bit. So it was a style that was different back then. So Common, I guess that's not his favorite album after seeing him in many interviews, but I would say this though. I pretty much knew he was here to stay once I first heard him, because when you break all that down, he was still spitting some heavy bars. And I was just geeked because it was an artist from Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Talking about Chicago. And I thought that that was pretty dope. Twista came along, I think, at the same time. Whenever I hear them speak, I think they both was coming along at the same time. But Twista was the tongue twister back then. So he was going way too fast. We didn't really well, I didn't until he slowed it down. You know what I'm saying? Then he became the legend that he's become as well. So, matter of fact, man, shouts out to Chicago MCs. You know what I'm saying? Whether they blew up big time or just locally that we know. So, shouts out to Common, Twister, shouts out to Bump J, shouts out to GLC, Sly Polaroid. You know what I'm saying? LEP Bogus Boys, my man Lupe Fiasco, Kanye West. For us OGs, that's kind of uh you know what I'm saying, our era. You know what I'm saying? Then we get to the Lil Durks and the Chief Keefs and the Lil Reese's, uh King. What's my man name? King. Don't beat me up, Chicago. Don't beat me up. King George, is it? King David? I can't even remember. But anyway, man, when it comes to those legends, man, I just want to big them up because obviously that guy who's in jail, you know what it is, man. Shouts out to him coming on the scene and taking over as well. You feel me? You had the Brat. Shouts out to Shauna. Just giving it up for Chi Town legends in general. So, but with Common, man, I remember the first album. It was just laced with a bunch of type metaphors and you know what I'm saying, similes, along with some dope beats. One of the first records that come to mind that I tapped into recently was that Charms Alarms. He's snapping on that joint. That beat hard too. So shouts out to No ID and Twilight Tone, who was making Commons beats back then. You know what I'm saying? So the first record, as I learned in the book, you know, he had high hopes and everything, but I guess it didn't sell so well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he's looking for life changing things, but I guess he said at that time things perhaps got worse. But I guess we'll get into that when we get into the book. So, you know, moving along from there, again, we just felt good because we had an artist and we knew he was solid. I don't know if he knew he was here to stay then, but we knew he was solid and we liked him. And another thing that's weird, like where I'm from, I guess we have like people split down the middle. I've never really been of that, and maybe it's the DJ in me. So some of the people where I'm from, they strictly like Twister style, the more of the gangster, the so they relate to like Southern and West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Specifically, exclusively, anything that sounds related to East Coast style, they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I've never been that way. I've liked every area in different places. I like all of them because of how different everything is. You know what I'm saying? So when you had the West doing their thing, it sounded different than the East, but I liked it. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth with the South, and then just the Midwest in general. We are kind of you will get an either or all encompassing of all of the coasts because we're the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things. I was one of those type people who liked it all. So for instance, you have LA, you can have someone like Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, but then you have the Exhibit and Tash, you know what I'm saying, alcoholics, you know what I'm saying? So just differences within that, you know, you got traditional sounding boom bap coming out of the Exhibits and the alcoholic crew, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to King T, who's the head of that whole clan over there, you feel me? So I was able to like both of those on up to the Bay where you have the Spice Ones and Two Shorts, but then you have the Souls of Mischief. You know what I'm saying? Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Again, following the traditional boom bap style of hip hop. So, and I was able to like all of that as well. So I just been always a person who encompasses it all. You feel me? And you know, as we travel through the career of Common, the second album, now that's when we knew we had something. You know what I'm saying? We knew we had a dope MC when he dropped the Resurrection. And I can recall the first time uh, we was bumping that record, and it's at my cousin crib. You know what I'm saying? And this is crazy because when I think back on it, like, man, what the hell was we doing smoking weed over there? We ain't no way in hell, you know. Even though, shouts out to my cousin Nick, man. But and rest in peace to Uncle Lenny. So, man, we, you know, how old were we? Early teen, you know, 16, 17 or something, man. Got a hold of that album. They had the blue light down there, man, and we just got so high. You know what I'm saying? It was just bumping that thing front to back and just was in a zone. You know what I'm saying? And I'll always remember that. Even the one who was smoking with us, I ain't even gonna say his name because I think he a preacher now. But yeah, so I always had that good fond memory of the album. You know what I'm saying? The Resurrection, Communism, Watermelon. I'm in my own world. Just some different joints that come to my mind off the top from that album. Pardon me. You know, moving on to the other records that he dropped, man. One Day It'll All Make Sense. That was obviously a dope record. You know what I'm saying? We saw him able to branch out. You know what I'm saying? It was like with the De La Soul and the Roots and stuff like that. So that began a nice marriage because later on down the line, we see all the work that he ended up putting in with those type guys. You know what I'm saying? In particular, on the next record is what he really uh, did his thing. You know what I'm saying? He linked up with Dilla as well as Questlove. We got like Water for Chocolate. and then it was out of here. You know what I'm saying? He was out of here with that one. He said that that's his biggest single to date, which is "The Light." You know what I'm saying? And one of the interesting things I found out about that record is that when Dilla made the beat and he rapped over it, uh, the Bobby Caldwell, that hook wasn't even on it. Dilla put that in on the backside after he heard what Common was saying. You know what I'm saying? So when he heard the lyrics that Common put together, then he put that touch on there. Now see, these tidbits, and I heard this on One Up, the latest episode of One Up, one of my favorite podcasts, which is the first ever hip hop podcast. One Up. Check them out, man. They dope. That's Cypher Sounds and Peter Rosenberg. And they was the first in this space. Not Combat Jack, not Joe Budden. It was Juan Ep was the first ever hip hop podcast. And I go back that far. That's why I'm a dinosaur to this day. I remember listening to those audibly, and still to this day, I only listen to them. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch podcasts. It's one of them that done got me. And that's Cameron and Mace. I don't know why y'all took y'all stuff off Apple Podcasts. Put it back on there, man. I don't like wasting my time watching. You know what I'm saying? I like to listen. Shouts out to Mason Cam. Shouts out to everybody that's inspiring in this space, uh, which brought me to where I am. I love the space of creating content. It gave me the confidence to do this, to sit up here and pioneer my own lane. You know what I'm saying? I always wondered where and how I could fit in, and the books. The books is what got me. When I looked it up, I'm going down a tangent for a second, but when I looked up this space, all I seen was white women, white men. I seen nobody who looked like me. So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and pioneer this space because, for one, I'm never going to stop. I'll always be doing something with this music. You know what I'm saying? Making mixes or what have you. I'll always listen to books, and I'll always frequent content. So I'm going to plant my 2 feet down in this space. You know what I'm saying? And just keep grinding and grinding until I get better and better and better. And this is where we are. You feel me? So we're just going to pioneer this space of LPs and books, but we're mainly going to go heavy on the books. My last episode was strictly music. Those will be few and far between as inspired. You know what I'm saying? I felt like being in this space, I wanted to exercise the ability to capture something current as it happens. Even this one was something I had was going to do down the line, but I was like, you know what? He just dropped this album. He's got a book out. All of these different things you got to capture. Uh, these content moments when they present themselves. So that's another thing I have to learn. I have to keep my mind on content and catch catch things that they are happening currently, because my mentality coming into it is like a book lasts forever. So a lot of times we may do books that dropped a year ago, years ago. You know what I'm saying? Years ago, years ago. It don't have to be something current, but when we have that opportunity to bridge the gap and bring the current together, then I have to step on that and take advantage. You know what I'm saying? So, but back to Common though. You know what I'm saying? So, his career has been a phenomenal one that spans over 30 years. For me to even have him, and I'm biased. I'm hella biased. I told you where I'm from. I told you how I get down. I'm biased, but I just see things different. I'm looking at content. You know, obviously we know Kendrick has had a big year with what he's done, and you know, whomever else, who else is moving and shaking. I guess, old boy from here, Gunna. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing, but I'm triple OG status, and when somebody of my ilk is doing it, it's different because again, you've got a book, and he's a part of two phenomenal projects. That's right, two. If you haven't heard the Bilal Live at the Glass House album, and you are of this ilk, you are playing yourself. Check that out, man. It's Bilal, Robert Glasper, Common, and Questlove, and it's called Live at the Glass House. For me, that's the best R&B album to drop. Personally, shouts out to Marsha Ambrosius, Shouts out to what other projects do I like? I love Baby Rose project. I love Tim's project. But that Bilal live at the Glass House is the one that has stuck with me the most. You know what I'm saying? It's a phenomenal project. Common is on like 5 tracks or so. Is I don't even really like live albums like that. This is obviously the best live album I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to Bilal. Check that out, man. Please check that out. And also, I have a mix that I made that's Bilal, Common, The Roots, D'Angelo, and Erica Badu. You know what I'm saying? So basically encompassing the Soul Aquarians. And I'll leave the link to that on part 1 and 2 of these episodes. Phenomenal mix, man. Tap into that. You know what I'm saying? But again, so as we take a look at what Common has done, top of the year he dropped the book. Then that's what's crazy about the newest project that he's dropped with Pete Rock is that, man, I'm still on the Bilal one. You know what I'm saying? So the one with Pete Rock, phenomenal. Are you kidding me? That's two of my favorite people, Common and Pete Rock. It's everything you think it is, and I'm not here to go song for song and break albums down like that. So that's not what I'm gonna do, man. Tap into that thing, man. That thing is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So when I break down Common's second book, I'll do something special with a Pete Rock and Common mix there because I got some ideas, but it was just going to take too much time when I needed to focus on this in particular. You know what I'm saying? But another phenomenal thing about Common, he holds his own with everybody. Black Thought, Most Def, Paz, you know what I'm saying? You name it. He hops on the track with all of these legends and he always holds his own, always respected worldwide. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the really known as an actor as well. And the crazy thing about it is coming from where he has come, right? Coming from Relativity Records, coming from dropping the first album to not be a success, coming from being labeled as a backpack MC. One can argue that he is the most visible of the genre. So to come from Chicago, where nobody was from in terms of rapping, and just look at where he's landed. You know what I'm saying? Look at where he is. He is on commercials. He's on movies. He's on TV shows. You know what I'm saying? He's everywhere all the time. Not to mention he's the ladies' man. You know what I'm saying? All the ladies, y'all love him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just phenomenal to see where he come from. And another phenomenal thing about him on the music side, he has worked with some of the best producers to produce his full projects. Full project by Kanye West. Another phenomenal thing that I learned about that record, the B album, is that Dilla was supposed to be the one producing that, or maybe it was supposed to be a combo joint. You feel me? But that's when Dilla was sick and unfortunately passed away. But I was like, oh damn, I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? Until I think I heard that on either the Drink Champs or interview with Common and Pete Rock or the One Up. Those are the two podcasts that I checked out prior to doing this episode. So again, so full album with Kanye West production, full album with Kanye West and Pharrell production, full album with No ID production, full album with Pete Rock production, pretty much a full album with Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying? Then you got full with the Soul Aquarians. It's ridiculous. Then you turn around and you have the August Green Project, which you have Robert Glasper and Kareem Riggins. So the man, not to mention records produced by like Swiss Beats, DJ Premier, just all of the greats. You know what I'm saying? I want to see. I would love to hear one with him and one of my other favorite producers, man. Shout out Large Professor. You know what I'm saying? I love to hear Common and Large Pro. I would love to hear that. That'd be phenomenal. But again, I just want to salute Common and Pete Rock for coming together as OGs. This is something I would like to see more of. You know what I'm saying? We seen Nas have a 3 project run with Hit Boy. Shouts out to Nas and Hit Boy. But I would just like to see more of the OGs, link up with some of our favorite producers from the '90s, like that. Matter of fact, Method Man and Havoc. One of y'all said it on the podcast. One of y'all sat up there and said y'all got an album coming. I didn't forget that, and I'm holding y'all to that. So someday we're gonna get a Havoc and Method Man project. I heard them say it. If y'all heard that just like me, let me know in the comments, because I know I ain't tripping. I heard one of them say it. I don't know if it was Method Man on Math Hoffa or Havoc on the Drink Champs or something. One of y'all said it, and I'm holding y'all to that. You feel me? So I would love to see one of the OGs, man, get it in with Large Pro. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to DJ Premier and Royce. You know what I'm saying, for the work they've been doing. So you know what I'm saying. That concludes the first part, man. Where we were just chopping it up about Common, the legend, the OG. You know what I'm saying? The musician, the actor, the you know what I'm saying, the from backpacker to the, you know, international sensation that he's become. You feel me? With the he said that when he's traveling and things like that the world over, the most memorable part people know him from is the John Wick movie, which is funny because I haven't seen either John Wick movie. But he said that that's what gets him the most recognition on the acting side. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of people don't even know he's a rapper. You feel me? He had mentioned a situation where he was in I guess he was in the Uber and he was freestyling, or I don't know if he was putting something together, but the driver was like, "Damn man, I didn't know you rapped." You know what I'm saying? But so that's just funny. But yeah, man. So tap in part two, man. We about to chop it up about this phenomenal book, man, and it's called "And Then We Rise: A Guide to Taking Care of Self." So tap in part two, LP.